Howdy everybody, welcome to another episode of It Came From Marketplace. This is where we check out some bike listings, both good and cursed. I'm very excited to see what producer Logan has cooked up for us this week. He's still on the same graphic from last week. We have Mark Zuckerberg, Ryder Joe Rogan. It came from the Slime Time text, so pretty good stuff. Let's take a look at our very first motorcycle, shall we? We have a 1992 Ducati 907IE for $4,500. Seller says 28,000 miles, gorgeous Ferrari red 1992 Ducati 907. This is my pride and joy, completely stock, excellent condition. Please no lowballing price, not desperate to sell. So $4,500 for a 1992 Ducati. And boys, he wasn't kidding. This is very pristine. So Ducati 907IE, if memory serves me correctly, the IE is Italian for fuel injected. So this is a non-carbureted Ducati. You can tell by the position of the handlebars and the seat, the general vibe of the bike. I think this was meant to be sort of a gentlemanly sport touring Ducati. I love the completely redded out windshield. You are not going to be going full tuck and looking at anything on that. The white wheels look awesome against the red, and the white Ducati logo pops. I really wish Ducati would bring back this classic Ducati typography on the side of the tank here. I think it looks really cool. Because I believe in 1992, you already had the 916, which was the proper World Superbike competing machine. The 907 here, I think, is more similar to Ducati Super Sports of the time. In relation to what has been sold in the past couple of years. What I mean by that is it's a bike that's more designed for the road. You can tell by the center stand, the big banana seat, the more comfortable ergonomics, certainly a more road-going motorcycle. But I think this featured, as the name implies, the 907, so it's a bigger engine than the previous 800 series Ducatis that were of this more like road-oriented vintage. Now this one, I mean, it's a really good-looking bike, right? Like, it's just... You know, this shape is so smooth, so aerodynamic. It's so nice looking, you know? I think modern sport bikes have gotten so angular and aggressive, and you can barely kind of see the lines through the things. This was a time when, I mean, it couldn't be more clear to the lines on this bike, right? It's a beautiful looking machine. We have axial mounted brakes, but some beautiful floating rotors up at the front here. The dual-sided swing arms, so that's another way you can tell that this motorcycle is not really going for that ultimate sport, because Ducati has historically done single-sided swing arms on their very, very sport-going models. Those quick tire changes on the side of the pits, right? But this one obviously has a more normal-looking swing arm, pretty easy going. See the nice Desmo badge on there. This back when Ducati was proud of their Desmos. They didn't get rid of it like they did on the new V2s. Man, $4,500 for this is pretty sweet. It's all stock, dude. It's all stock. It looks like a museum piece. This isn't a bike that is, you know, ultimate collector's spec or anything. But I mean, look at that. It's got the little, what is that right there? An elephant or a bull or something like that? Someone who's more familiar with Ducati lore can tell me what that is right there. And then we have, it says Veglia right here. So that's just phenomenal that the speedometer here says Veglia. It's just so Italian, isn't it? Ugh. Yeah, this is a beautiful time capsule of a bike. Beautiful vintage. Really a fair price, honestly. $4,500 for a completely immaculate museum spec Ducati. I mean, sure, yeah, why not? That definitely feels like it's worth it to me. So we're going to rate this one a 9 out of 10. I really think this is a fantastic listing for the price if you're in the market for a classic Ducati, and we'll keep it rolling. All right, up next, 2003 Suzuki Katana 600, $4,000. I'm a little worried to take a look at this one because Katanas are almost always just the most wretched, abused things. And $4,000, I'm like, okay, either it's the most perfect Katana I've ever seen, or it's someone living in Delulu land. So let's see. Low miles, ready for summer. 6,400 miles on the clock. That's nothing for a Katana. These will run for like 60,000 miles all day. No valve chain or no valve checks. It's just like this bulletproof bike. Oil and filter, new battery, new tires. Located near Sandwich, Illinois. Well, I'm gonna eat my words. That is the cleanest Katana I have ever seen. I mentioned to you guys about the V-Stroms, the tri-spoked wheels up at the front. Really cool touch. This like orange and black pumpkin aesthetic with the highlighted GXF right there. I think that's what that says. I can't remember the Katana's specific denominator. I think it was a GSX. It's not the GSXR. The Katana had a different couple of front letters in front of it. I think what it says there is GXF, but I'm not. Look, Katana lore is not my expertise, but yeah, I gotta say, it looks like a showroom Katana. I have never, ever seen a Suzuki Katana that's this clean. Coolest name for a bike too, right? Like this is back when bikes had the names Fireblade, Katana, just like awesome vibes out of this thing. Immaculate condition on this motorcycle. Stock tail over here, stock pipes. Everything looks basically stock. And this guy wants what, $4,000 for it? $4,000, 6,400 miles for the Katana. Even the seat is in perfect spec. I can't even believe what I'm looking at. I've never seen a Katana this clean in 2025 or in the 2020s, so to speak. Even the dash, like everything's, the plastic's not cracked or chipped, and the triple tree looks good. It was kept inside, it seems like. I really can't believe it. I've only ever seen the most ratted out, clapped out Katanas. I've never seen one that's this clean. I didn't think they existed anymore, to be honest. I thought since the 90s, they all got purged out of existence by the collective squids that just took hold of them and destroyed them. So you see here, adjustable suspension on the Katana. It was a relatively sport-going model. It wasn't really like a GSX-R, right? You can tell, again, by the nice scoop in the seat, the more upright ergos. This is kind of an old-school, not-so-super sport machine, the stuff that we're hyping big up nowadays in 2025. The new GSX-8Rs, all those sorts of things. These bikes back in the day basically did that, you know. But again, this is an old school machine, so the geometry, the chassis, the weight, it's not going to feel as spry and light on its feet and crisp to ride as a newer motorcycle, but still phenomenal, still an inline four, still going to make the sound, still going to rev, still going to have a lot of fun with it. Boy, oh boy, we're just cleaning up shop with these ultra clean listings. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 as well, just because I have never, ever seen such a clean Katana ever in my life. If somebody in the comments has ever seen a cleaner Katana than this, you let me know. I've never seen one. Moving on. All right, 2017 Indian Sturgis build Hooligan Scout 60s for $7,250. What's going on here? I have a for sale, an incredible price, my full custom one-off Sturgis build Indian Scout Hooligan. It is designed by Geico Indian, Roland Sands. A link to the articles. There's even a TV show on YouTube that you can watch it being built. I've really enjoyed this bike. Out of the dozens I've owned, it's by far the most fun. It gets the most attention. Exhaust is throaty, blah, blah, blah. I've had the bike for 4 years after original owner passed away and his estate sold it. Interesting. My 6-year-old son and I have a new agenda for the summertime, so it's time to say goodbye to my toys so he could have more. Well, that's kind of sweet. The bike comes with a custom Indian dust cover and extreme weather cover, 2,700 miles. It's barely ridden. Let's take a look at this. This is going to be pretty unique. Okay, so Indian Scout 60. The Scout 60 features the smaller, I think it's a 1,000cc V-twin, still liquid-cooled that Indian made, because the Indian Scout has, of course, I think it's the 1,200-ish cc V-twin, similar spec to what you find in the FTR 1,200. And it appears that they basically tried to make the Scout 60 into an FTR. So we have the tails kind of raised up a little bit, kind of farther away from the back wheel. We have these flat track style tires on it as well, the kind of like Indian FTR tires you would get. I mean, it's pretty unique. I like the number plate on it and the lights. It's got a super unique look to it. I will say though, I think this seating position is very compromised, because the thing about the FTR is it's a very long bike, but your feet are kind of directly underneath you and a little behind you actually, and you have a nice flat, wide handlebar. We gave away an Indian FTR in 2021. That was, I want to say, our second or third modern classic bike we gave away. right around the time we did the Rebel 1100 and that sort of thing. I really liked the FTR. I just thought it was so unique. It was this really long bike that just loved to slide. It had a wicked V-twin engine in it. Super interesting. So this one is, the hooligan build thing. I'm not sure if they moved the rear sets. It does seem, because I think the Scout, I actually see the mounting points right here. I think the Scout 60 came originally with front or forward mounted foot pegs up here, because the rider triangle would suggest that cruiser, right? It's a little lower, feet forward, because we actually did an Indian Scout as well. Was that in 2020? I think late in 2020 we did an Indian Scout, and I think that has foot forward controls, and I think the Scout 60 does as well. So some geometry some ergonomic modifications to this motorcycle. The pegs appear to be here now, but again, I don't know how comfortable it would be to ride, to be honest. But the one thing that was kind of surprising about the Indian Scouts is they can kind of hang, dude. They can kind of ride pretty well, and the frame is super modern. I mean, the engine is modern, the frame is modern. I would take an Indian Scout over basically any Harley nowadays. The new Nightster is closer to what the Indian Scout is, but I still think the Scout does it better. Yeah, this is an interesting build. For how custom it is, it's actually not that crazy. Like, it's got really nice choice parts on it. It just looks really clean and good. This is what you'd want to see out of a custom bike. And with 2,700 miles, I don't think it's going to be very much at all. 7,250 is fine for it, I think, for being that kind of bike and with that, provenance, so to speak. So this one, I think I'm going to rate a 7 out of 10 and keep it moving. All right. 2020 California Motorcycle Company Street Rider for $680. For sale, a 125cc motorcycle, runs great with no problems. Top speed, 45 to 50 miles an hour, perfect for daily use or beginners. Listing says 40,000 miles, but that can't be right, LOL. Okay, so what is the miles on this thing? Let's take a look at this. Oh, okay, it's a baby dirt bike on stilts. This looks like a PW50 that's just been jacked to infinity. Look at the angle of this swing arm. That can't be right. This cannot be correct. This swing arm angle it just looks all kinds of jank. Is this actually how this was sold? Is this how the geometry is set up on this thing? That doesn't look correct at all. So I know nothing about this. What is this? A California Motorcycle Company Street Rider for $680. We appear to... Do we have a clutch? I'm trying to find out. We have brakes. That's good. I don't think that this has a clutch lever. I think this is just a twist and go, a little 125. It does have what looks to be a shift arm right there. So maybe it's like a centrifugal clutch situation. You just kind of like roll off the throttle and just shift gears. Or maybe I can't see the clutch lever. If it does have a clutch, this would be a super fun, like, little pit bike goof around thing to just pop wheelies on. Beyond that, I don't think you could really use this for much of anything. I'm telling you guys, this cannot be correct with the way this is sitting here and the way this shock looks like it's being extended while it's not even airborne. This just doesn't look right. And this super flat seat. Yeah, it's like in every market, there's somebody trying to sell a wretched little pit bike, and this one is not as wretched as it could be. I've seen way worse, and honestly, like $500 for this thing, if it runs and rides, is plenty good. I wouldn't really knock it for that much. I think $500 would be totally fine if it works. If it has issues, I would definitely not want to take it. But an interesting listing nonetheless. We always love seeing the little baby pit bikes, and I always am curious to know, what lives have they led? What have they done? What does it say? Coolster. We all know that suspension brand. All right, fun little one. I'm gonna rate this one a 6 out of 10 because I am dubious about that swing arm angle, and we're gonna keep it rolling. All right, gather round, squids. A 2016 BMW S1000 RR for $16,500. A 9-year-old BMW for $16,500. Okay. Selling my 2016 S1000 RR with 9,000 miles, clean title, no accidents, 200 bike, very clean, low mileage, adult-owned bike. Okay. Custom Yas Marina blue fairings. Okay. Evil stretch swing arm, nitrous bottle. blah, 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 slip-on exhaust, LED headlights and taillights, Michelin Pilot Road 4s, GP shifter, CRG, RC2 brake and clutch lever, Woodcraft timing cover with plate, fresh fluids, brakes, filters. I have all the stock length parts and another set of fairings. Okay, this is an absurd price for this motorcycle already, but let's take a look. Oh, Lord. Adult owned, you say, huh? It sure doesn't look like it. I love the phallic little slip-on pipe over here. That's adorable. Yeah, you look like the type of dude that owned this bike. Hoodie, helmet, gloves, no riding boots, baby. Sneakers on my stretched S1000RR. This is, look, if you're afraid for the front wheel to lift a little bit, you can just tell everybody. You don't have to show it in this way. I genuinely don't understand people who do these crazy swing arm extensions and do nitrous and stuff on a motorcycle that is legitimately designed to go around a racetrack. A BMW S1000RR is a track bike. It's a world superbike machine. It's like don't do this. Do this to a Busa, you know? Like a Busa was meant to just rip ass and go straight on the highway. It really hurts my soul when people do this to 1000cc motorcycles. You can do whatever you want, right? I don't care. Like go and put on a phallic little Red Rocket, slip-on pipe on your bike, stretch it 20 inches out to the rear. I don't care. Put a nitrous bottle on it, whatever. But it's just like, it's not what it was made for, and there's, I think, better bikes to do it on. And the swing arm stretch really, for me, is a crime because you completely nuked the handling of this bike. I've literally owned a Turbo Hayabusa that made 300 wheel horsepower. I never stretched it. All I did was slightly lower it so that it wouldn't pitch the front wheel too much, but I was still able to hammer that bike in second gear, spool up boost, and rip down the highway, right? You don't need to do this to an S1000RR for it to be a fast highway roll racer. And again, I do think it's a bit absurd to say that it's an adult-owned bike with these really, really tasteless street squid mods. And it's a highway roll racing bike, right? I guess that's what you're doing with it. So, I don't know. For me, I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. He did say that he had the original parts, but, dude, $16,500. That is brand new leader bike money, basically. You know, if you have 20 grand lying around to buy a motorcycle, you can basically get whatever you want within reason. You know, I could probably find 10 different, like, ultra low mileage, barely used leader bikes for sale right now for close to $16,500. Factory, fresh, brand new. This is a 9-year-old motorcycle, right? 9 years of age, all these silly street mods on it. Unless you really are just after a highway roll racing bike and you don't want to think about it, I guess you could buy this, but I still, imagine putting the rear stand on this bad boy. I just thought about that. Imagine trying to, like, line it up. Oh my God, that's so stupid. It just looks wrong, doesn't it? Back me up in the comments here, guys. Like, this feels incorrect. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, of course. Why are S1000RR people all the same? They're all the same, dude. That's a real bummer. It's a real shame. Yeah, I'm gonna rate this one a 4 out of 10 and keep it rolling. 2009 Aprilia RSV, $5,500. 2009 Aprilia RSV 1000R, driven 3,500 miles. Put it in Spanish as well to help out the folks. He said that never fallen, no falls, no accidents, no problems. So 2009 Aprilia RSV 1000R, I think this was like literally the last year that they made these because Aprilia switched to the V4, I think in 2009 or 10 or 8, like one of those years. So this has to be the very last year that they made this bike. And you can tell, like, it's got some, I mean, from the cockpit right here, this triple tree, this dashboard, I mean, this all looks nice and proper and modern to me, you know? Bikes haven't really, I mean, this kind of cockpit out here, things have changed a little bit, but not much. Like, this is pretty much the standard since the last, like, 15 years or so. But the RSV4, I think, is a more desirable bike. But if you are looking for, like, something that has Race bike pedigree, feels really good, is a big V-twin bike. This is definitely the one for you. If you like stuff like the Honda RC51, you know, the Nicky Hayden editions, the big twins. Is it RC51? Yeah, I don't know, my brain is like RC45, RC30. There's so many numbers after RCs with Hondas. But this one's really clean. It's got stock exhaust. Everything looks really nice on it. You got the Olin suspension front and rear, I believe, on this one. Honestly, I'm digging it. I think the blue color's kind of cool. It's in clean spec. Fellow wants $5,500 for it. Yeah, I think we saw one of these the other day and it came from Facebook. And I gotta say, they still look good, man. This is still a cool, punchy, fun, big V-twin bike you can have a lot of fun with. Look how aggressive the ergonomics are, man. Like, this is a proper sport bike, you know? Like, you can really go out and have a really good time with this thing. So, I'm into it. I don't know about the reliability. That would be my only question. A 16-year-old Aprilia is a little suspect, but, you know, pretty decent. I think it's clean. I think it looks good. But why don't we rate this one a 7 out of 10? Keep it moving. Ooh, a personal favorite of mine, a 2013 MV Agusta F3 675. The number should probably tell you why it's a personal favorite of mine. $7,750. 2013 MV, 10,000 miles. Ooh, a rebuilt title. Uh-oh. Received a full inspection, annual service, and repairs completed. Runs perfectly. Upgrades include exhaust, turn signal, black smoke screen, Pirelli tires, and custom red quilted seats. So just like squid mods that add no value. Oh my god, man, the MVs just... So look at... Okay, I have so much to say about MVs, because I love them and I hate them at the same time. So, MVs utilize a steel trellis-style frame similar to a Ducati, but it's mated to a 3-cylinder engine. The 675 is the same power output roughly as a Daytona, slightly different character. The triple pipes ought to tell you what's going on. The single-sided swing arm... Oh my god, like, the MVs are just awesome. They're just awesome bikes. I had the really, really fortunate chance to ride an F3 800 RC on track back in 2020, and it was just glorious. For a factory bike, that was like the Daytona I had always dreamed that Triumph would make. And I still hold out faith that one day, fingers crossed, Triumph will make a brand new super sport to compete in this new category, but we shall see. Look at these little nubby little things right there. That just looks silly, doesn't it? The red quilted seat. Kind of out of place on this machine, I'm not gonna lie. It looks a little silly. I always thought the MV's dash was kind of cool. I love that the top of the rev is 17,000 RPM. The 675 revs to maybe like 14. 17's very ambitious for the old MV here. I dig it, but $7,700 for a rebuilt title 12-year-old MV Agusta, you're never selling that. That's a really, really tough sell. Mostly because MVs are already perceived as relatively unreliable, a little temperamental, having electronics issues, just having kind of problems in general. And so I don't think that this is a good buy necessarily. Yes, it does look clean, and if it does run correctly, that's cool. But for some reason, this feels like the type of motorcycle that, you know, after a certain amount of time, you're going to get issues with it and you're going to run into problems. And you're going to be like, well, should I have really bought an MV Agusta? You know, like, did I really need to do this? And then you'll start to question your life choices. So for the rebuilt title, the kind of pie in the sky price, we're going to rate this one. I'll rate it a 5.5 out of 10. How about that? Moving on. All right, boys. Here we go. 1985 Yamaha RZ500, $28,000. Big money. Big money for this bike. Race-teched front end with preload adjusters, box twin clicker rear shock, expansion chambers, Boyson reeds. That's some carburetor mods for you boys out there. Rare inner dash, mile per hour speedo conversion from kilometers per hour. Because I don't think this model was sold in the US. I think this was by the time the two-strokes were outlawed here in the US. Solo seat cowl, flip gas cap conversion. That's great. That's just like quality of life mods. Marchesini wheel 17s. I think these came with 16.5 inches originally because they were 500cc replica bikes. Braided stainless steel lines, numerous pieces chromed and polished. Comes with everything to bring back to stock with exception of exhaust pipes. Motorcycle has been through complete frame-up restoration, including fresh, all seals replaced, new chain and sprockets, manual and toolkits, always cleaned and covered and kept in garage after each use, spends winters inside house and covered, meticulously maintained, comes with MotoGP cover and stand, flaws, lower cowling, has 2 blemishes, runs great. Well, let's take a look. 28 grand's a lot of money for this thing. Wow. But it looks brand new, which is kind of incredible. So this was back in the day when manufacturers would make basically race replica versions of the MotoGP bikes, which back then was the 500cc Grand Prix bikes. And so this has a 500cc V4 two-stroke engine. You can tell it's a two-stroke because of the pipe right here and because of the age and the time frame and all that. So peaky two-stroke power band, the V4. I mean, this is a potent little machine. Kickstarter, boys. I mean, does it get any cooler than that? Kickstarting your V4 two-stroke race bike? Come on, it doesn't get any better than that. Polished front fork up here. This thing's really cool. Wow, look at that cockpit. Holy crap. This is so cool. This looks just like an old school 500cc GP racer. That's crazy. Wow. He's got the original like plastic guards over the clutch lever too. He's got the high and the low beam. Wow, everything's perfect on this. That's a really nice mod, the flip cap. Because I think these came with like the old school just like twist off cap, and so having the flip cap's nice. I think this is the blemish he was referring to, but goddamn, who cares? That's at the bottom of the bike too. Look at this. Look at that. This is so clean. It's ridiculous how clean this is. Holy crap. Oh, what a beautiful time capsule. If bikes like this weren't so temperamental to own and I didn't want to mess with carburetors, man, owning a two-stroke street bike is such a flex, dude. It's such a flex. Maybe I'm entering that phase in my motorcycling career where I'm like, you know, owning a pristine 1980s two-stroke race bike is like it's like the coolest thing to me, you know? I've wanted for years now an Aprilia RS250. That's been a bike that I've wanted for forever. And I know that these don't even ride that great. I know that they're like very unique in the way that they go down the road. But I don't know, man. I think they're super freaking cool. And this one is the cleanest one I've ever seen in my life ever. Now, 28 grand is a lot of money for this. That is no small feat for this motorcycle. 28 grand for the V4. I have no idea what these cost back in the day or what they're currently at in auction. It may be that their value is up this high. And again, this is by far and away the cleanest old school V4 two-stroke bike I've ever seen. I don't know, 28 grand though, is it worth it? For those who really want it and love it, I mean, I think it is, you know? This is a bike that if you were of that time and you loved it, then this is the one for you. And it's crazy because, you know, guys that were into these bikes when they were in their teens and 20s, I mean, they're all like 60 years old now, you know? Like this is the bike a late 50s, early 60s guy would buy at this point. So super cool listing, really amazing. I would kill to ride one of these on the road. I'd have so much fun doing a ride and review of an old school two-stroke. That would be freaking sweet. So we're going to keep this one moving. And I believe this is our last listing for today. 1998 Kawasaki ZX. Oh, I didn't rate it. Let me rate the V4. I think we'll do a 9 out of 10 on this one. 9.5 out of 10. Very unique, very cool. Look at the quad pipes coming out the back of this thing, man. How cool is that? So yeah, I think a 9.5 out of 10. All right, 1998 Kawasaki ZX-7R, $5,600. Price firm, no trades. 1998 Kawasaki ZX-7, not Barber Museum quality, but pretty nice bike here. We got Larry David over here. He's like, it's pretty nice, you know? I also love that he's just like, hey, it's not Barber, but, you know, this is pretty good. Not too many in this condition left. 22,000 miles. Runs good. Serviced. New fork seals. New battery. New air filter. Carb cleaned. Rear brake caliper rebuild. New seat. Clean title. 1 key. Beautiful. Let's take a look. Oh, wow. Okay, so ZX-7R, this was late 90s World Superbike spec machine. This is back when they were doing the 750cc inline 4s against the big twins. That was before the rule changes to 1000s. So this was kind of one of the last 750s that was really made. So you can tell, ergonomics-wise, this absolute beefcake aluminum twin spar frame over here. this is real deal race bike. You know, it's trying to be a proper real deal race bike. So ZX7, pretty sweet bike. This one's very, very clean. Look at the green paint job, really just like very striking looking. And I honestly think that some of these 90s bikes have aged really, really well if they're very clean and well kept. I think that the problem is a lot of the times with these old 90s sport bikes, especially the Japanese ones, you're so used to seeing them just like completely clapped out that it's kind of crazy when you see one that's in good spec because you remember how cool the lines are and how cool of a bike it is in general, right? Like, look at this. This is so sick. This gauge pod right here of the Ninja, the white, screaming all the way to 14,000 RPM. Like, this is what I always thought of in my brain of like sport bike. Like, because these are the bikes I saw when I was a kid in the 90s. And I'm not that old. I'm 32. So when I was a kid, like in the late 90s, right, I would see stuff like this. And to me, this is like just classic sport bike, you know, like this is what you really want. You see the big ram air scoops through the frame right here. That's something Kawasaki still does. Like this little grill guard right here and this frame, this reminds me a lot of stuff like on the ZH2, right? So super cool, man. I love the color matched seat to the fairing. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was a cowl at first. That's a seat right there, folks. Passenger pegs on this thing. You can chuck a passenger on there if you dare. Really cool listing. This one I think I'm gonna rate I think this one's an 8.5 out of 10. We just had good, clean bikes in this one today. We did not have any crazy clapped out stuff, and sometimes that's what you need. You just want to see some great, cool listings. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Hope you learned something, saw some cool bikes. Remember, there's always really nice, cool bikes for sale. Don't settle on buying something brand spanking new and financing it and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's some beautiful, awesome motorcycles from yesteryear that certainly deserve your attention. And to me as well, it's sort of like an anti-consumerist thing to buy used and to let these motorcycles continue enjoying a little bit of life out there on the road. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. I truly appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Keep watching Yami Noob.